Okay, now we're going to be talking about basic functions and the graphs of basic functions. Now, when we do that, we have what I'm going to call standard x values. Now, this isn't universal. Other textbooks, other instructors might not do this, but your book actually does something fairly similar. So the standard x values just run from -2 to 2. Okay? And they include the integers between -2 and 2, 0 being halfway between, -1 being halfway between -2 and 0, 1 being halfway between 0 and 2. And also, I mean, here's the list. Right now, all of a sudden, I just wrote down -2 and 2 and then subdivided that and subdivided each of those intervals, and I got 5 of the 7. The other one, well, you subdivide the interval between -1 and 0 into 2 equal parts. And that happens at -1/2. And the same thing between 0 and 1, that happens at 1/2. Okay, so that's a picture. Now notice that this distance is half of this distance, and it should be obvious why it is, because of course 1/2, now this distance is 1/2, this distance is supposed to be 1, this distance should be 1/2 as big as this distance, okay? When you do a graph and you label your x-axis, and that's going to be what this is when you do the basic graphs, which is all I'm going to ask you to do for Tuesday, but I want you to be good at it. When you do this, you want these things spaced properly or you're going to get a distorted graph. So you want to be careful that your x-axis looks like this. Now we're going to see what the basic functions are and how to make tables using some of these rules.